Hello, my friends. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. My name is Ellen. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best apps, in my opinion, for productivity without burnout. Let's just go ahead and dive in and waste no time because naturally, the first app I'm going to be talking about in this video is Notion. If you didn't think I was going to start with Notion, you must be new here. I am a Notion nerd. I am obsessed. I love Notion. It is by far my all-time favorite productivity app, and I use it for damn near everything. Over the years, I kept getting more and more exhausted having to look for information in tons of different places, and Notion really helped to fix that problem for me. You know, I have my notes all in here, no matter what those notes are for. I have notes for Facebook ads optimization, notes from my day job, journal prompts that I want to remember, and notes even from certifications that I'm working on, all inside of Notion. So it's helped me keep track of my notes. It's obviously helped me keep track of tasks inside of my Notion. I even go in and I break down my goals and the specific tasks that are associated with those goals. Heck, I even have things like a savings dashboard for things that I am saving up for, travel planners. I keep track of the different books that I'm reading. And this is something I absolutely love about Notion. It actually can connect to services that transport in your highlights from the books that you are reading as well, which is pretty freaking awesome. Basically, Notion saves me a lot of time because it is all in one. I also use it to keep track of habits. I use it to keep tabs on my clients, which we're not going to go to that view right now because that is private. I use it to, as I already mentioned, plan projects. I also have recently started using it to outline goals using an OKR system. So I have my objectives for my goals, I have the projects for those specific objectives, and I have the key results that I'm working on toward those goals. This is actually something that I will be imminently incorporating into the Notion digital planner. So definitely stay tuned for that. But I have views basically that I really, really like for just about everything. I also use it for content creation. I have a main hub for my business inside of here. It literally organizes my whole entire life between the fact that you can use databases, templates, you can sync blocks across multiple different views. Notion just not only organizes my whole life, so I only have to look in one place over the course of the day, and it's a game changer. I really, really cannot say that enough. So that is the first big app that I use and that I love and that I am obsessed with. One of the other big apps that I use is Zapier. Zapier has actually been blowing up on my YouTube ads lately, but it's funny because I'm already such a massive proponent of Zapier as a platform. Zapier is, for those of you that don't know, an automation tool for all the menial little tasks that you don't want to have to do manually. And if you have a business, you should definitely be using it or something like it. Zapier allows me to connect apps, websites, tools that I use in my business seamlessly without me having to do all the manual legwork. For example, here are some of the zaps that I have set up inside of my Zapier. So I have a zap that is sending new members that join my Mighty Networks community to Notion so I can keep track of the people that are in there. Subscribers that are in my Mighty Networks get added to a segment inside of Flowdesk so that I can specifically communicate with my subscribers. I was playing around with Facebook leads earlier this year, and this automation automatically captured my Facebook leads and sent them to Flowdesk so that I could add them to my email list. I use Interact as the quiz software for my burnout quiz, which if you want to know which type of burnout you are experiencing, you should take. Go ahead and check out the description below. I also have a finance tracker that I have inside of Notion, and I have a zap that sends any new financial transactions that happen inside of my Stripe account straight to Notion as well. I actually should probably set one of these up for PayPal because people have been starting to pay through PayPal a lot more in my business. So I'm constantly adding new automations to my Zapier. It saved me probably hundreds of hours on lost times doing stupid menial tasks, and I literally can't recommend it enough. I also used to do it to send appointments from Google Calendar into my Notion, but I actually use a different thing called Notion Automations to do that now. And I will go ahead and link the automation that I use. What is really, really nice about that automation, I know we're hopping back to Notion here for a second, but it uploads all of my appointments into my Notion task manager as well, so that I can make sure that I'm not overcommitting myself on appointments. The next thing that we're obviously going to look at is Google Calendar. I actually talked about my Google Calendar systems in another video where I talked about why I like Google Calendar as even just like a stress management tool. My Google Calendar looks really empty right now because I'm actually going on a CEO weekend this weekend, and I have to turn off my day job calendar for privacy reasons so that you can't see my students. But I've always liked how easy it is to work inside Google Calendar. Not only can you like easily create new calendars, like you can see over here, I have calendars for birthdays, for coaching appointments, for when I'm planning on going to co-working, for self-care. I like having these different calendars and these different colors because then if I want to, I can zoom in on a specific part of my, tasks and appointments. And I can also block out time on my calendar. You can see I do that a lot with self-care. And I find that really helpful and really important because seeing something taking up time on my calendar really, really makes sure that I am making space for that thing. I also run my membership community out of Mighty Networks, and I really, really love the fact that I can synchronize the events in my Mighty Networks community into my calendar. This also connects really, really nicely to the scheduling platforms I use. I use Practice. I also occasionally use Calendly for my day job. And I love the fact that I can also include some of these other calendars, like my self-care time, like my membership stuff, for example. I can include these so that clients cannot schedule over top of them. Anything that I have on my calendar that I want to protect can be protected, no matter what it is. I also love how seamlessly it syncs to Zoom. Like if I wanted to create I know I'm literally doing it for like a day ago, but if I wanted to create a meeting inside of here, I can very easily add a Zoom link to that meeting. And I also love the fact that I can very quickly go in and invite any guests who I have been emailing back and forth inside of my Gmail. It all syncs. It's all really, really nice. And it is something you can do so quickly. And then as I already mentioned, there is a Google Calendar Notion automation where you can pull in events from any specific calendars that you want into your Notion calendar. That is, or your Notion task manager. That is Notion Automation's Google Calendar. And I will go ahead and I will drop this link in the description as well. The other app that I am loving right now is Mailbird. I'm actually going to pull this up, but I'm going to pull it up so that we can only see, like, we'll just do my personal email account. So this is what I'm actually loving about Mailbird is the fact that if you have multiple different email accounts and get irritated as hell by having to go into those accounts one by one to answer and check emails, I am right there with you. That's actually what led me to using Mailbird. I used to use the mail client inside of Windows, and I actually really, really like it. I like the aesthetic of it. I think it works really, really nicely, but I had a few pet peeves with this. Now, one thing I will say, there's probably an equivalent on a Mac. I am not a Mac user, so if you are, I'm sorry, I don't know that life, but the Windows Mail client is where I started, and I did really, really like it. I was paying for Superhuman, which is an excellent platform, but it's just too expensive for what it does, frankly. The Windows Mail client did 90% of what Superhuman did, but it was free and it came on my computer. The thing that I found as a limitation with this Windows Mail client is it doesn't have good hotkeys. So like on Mailbird, which I'm going to show in a sec, I can archive things by just clicking E on my keyboard. In here, I had to actually go in and click the archive button. Like, I don't know who this is. I probably should unsubscribe from their list. But this is something that I find to be really, really handy, is to be able to use those hotkeys. This is also kind of glitchy. Like periodically, it doesn't import my mail. So that was probably the biggest reason why I started exploring Mailbird. Mailbird can be as expensive as Superhuman, but you can also get a lifetime license, which is what I did. And similar to Windows Mail, you can put all of your email accounts in one place. So this is my personal, my business, which is inbox 0. Yay. This is my other. Oh, actually, I think 2 of these are my, this one's my personal, and these 2 are both business accounts, and then this is for my day job. So I have all of my email accounts all inside of here, and I absolutely love it. Plus, they have hotkeys. The other thing that I have that I really, 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 really love is the ability to snooze. This is something that Superhuman had, which I was obsessed with. So you can just click this little alarm clock and say when you want to snooze it to. We'll just snooze this one till later in the day. We'll snooze this one to this weekend, and then they will come back into your mailbox at the time that you've designated, which is very, very handy. The only caveat for Mailbird is that you cannot set an out of office, which is something that I do not like about it, but I found a workaround and it's working just fine. So this really helps me to consolidate all my email, and I really, really appreciate it. I think the takeaway here is that having all my email in one place is a game changer and has become a necessity in my life. Like, as much as of a necessity as having two monitors. Like, and I think that's saying something. The other app that I absolutely love is Canva. If you have not, like, if you have a business, you should definitely check out Canva. It puts digital design at your fingertips. And there is such an abundance of free templates. Some of them are paid and pro templates, yes, but there is such an abundance of free templates and fonts. It's just completely unparalleled. But my favorite thing about Canva, and the reason why I consider it to be one of my best productivity apps, is templates and the fact that you have branding built into Canva. There is, if you pay for a pro membership, you can put your branding inside of your Canva. So I've got my logos, I've got my fonts, I've got my colors, all inside of Canva for easy access. And I have my templates. There are certain things that I post frequently inside of my business on social media and my communities, and I templatize everything. So anytime I post a new podcast, this is the design that goes on my website on my podcast show notes page, my YouTube covers, and even, you know, if I'm bored with my YouTube covers and I want to make new ones, are all inside of this same document inside of Canva. For my business, for my Mighty Networks membership in my business, I love Mighty Networks. If you want me to record a video on Mighty Networks and kind of how I use it, drop a comment below. I'm happy to share that. But I do a happening this week post in my membership. I have, these are the covers for all of my different memberships inside of Mighty Networks, for my Notion support group, and for any events that happen. I just duplicate each of these covers as I create new events inside of my membership. So templates just makes things so stinking easy. And not only do these images like look really good, they match the aesthetic that I want in my business, but it makes it just so easy to create. My brand colors are there, my fonts are there in Canva, and it just makes it so much easier. And if and when I'm ready to hire a VA or an assistant to help with some of the stuff, they can easily just jump in here and use the templates that I'm already using to maintain the same aesthetic, which I love. Last but not least, which, fun fact, I'm actually low-key listening to as I record this, is Spotify. This one, in my opinion, is perhaps my most powerful tool for stress relief and focus, because music does set your state, in my opinion. Plus, I'm the kind of person that I can't get into a focus mode without a little bit of music playing in the background. I hate complete silence. Instrumental only though, because if it has lyrics, I will sing along to it. But Spotify has a seemingly endless amount of playlists for productivity and calm and even stress relief. You can see some of my go-tos. I've been loving this binaural beats playlist. I have a peaceful piano playlist. I actually made my own epic instrumental playlist because sometimes I need instrumental music that's just way more upbeat. Even during Christmas time, I had a peaceful piano music that I listened to while I worked. Plus, you can have it on your phone, your computer, you can use it on your browser. And what I love about it is it's just at your fingertips. Plus, if you work in an environment where things are happening that are triggering your stress, how wonderful is it that you can just headphone up and block it out? So I love Spotify. I think having your favorite stress relieving, focus inducing playlists like this binaural beats that I'm listening to as I record this, the more quickly you can get into a focus mode. And I think that's not only better for our productivity, but also just to help keep us on track. So these are my top productivity apps. We had Canva, we had Google Calendar, we had Notion, #duh. How could I do this without Notion? But those are mine. I'd love to know what you think. Do you have any others that I missed that I didn't add? Go ahead and drop a comment below. And as always, if you are liking what you're seeing on this channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. See you next time.